debate, interviews, and breaking news. The Elias Mako Show.
News Talk Radio, CJAD 800, the voice of Montreal.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.
I'm Trudy Mason, sitting in for Elias again this week. You might have caught the news that the Liberals under Charles Milliard have presented their economic vision to voters. Milliard saying that at the moment, the CAQ government is playing a bit role on the federal scene, is managing relations with Canada, not developing them. And he would like to see Quebec being more active in developing the domestic market for economic purposes and even getting closer to Ontario. He's pitching the idea of relaunching joint Quebec-Ontario cabinet meetings once a year so that we can more closely walk together with Ontario. We have invited Charles Milliard to join us on air. We have not been able to arrange that. The times we've had haven't suited him. We're hoping to get him on at some point. But here was some reaction for us is Christopher Skeete. He is the CAQ M&A for St. Rose and the minister responsible for relations with English-speaking Quebecers. Welcome back to CJAD, Christopher Skeete.
Always a pleasure to be with you.
Now, the Liberal leader is being pretty tough on the CAQ government, saying that it is missing the boat in terms of not doing more to forge alliances by strengthening ties with other provinces and walking more closely with the federal government to look at new markets. What is the response of the CAQ?
Well, I would say I wouldn't say so much that he was tough, so much as he had a tough day yesterday. We're talking about a Liberal Party, which used to be a serious party, proposing that our international strategy should be we need to speak more with Canada. Honestly, it's half-baked and completely ignores certain realities. For one, we've already established inter-provincial trade with our partners. We are actively working towards eliminating those barriers, and we've also done a lot of work internationally. So I would say overall, yesterday's announcement was half-baked and ill thought out.
He is challenging the CAQ by saying, for example, he felt that the Premier's appearance at the big provincial meeting we saw last week was really nothing more than a photo op, and she did not make Quebec's presence felt within the Confederation. Has there been, any thought about that within the CAQ? Are them fighting words?
Well, again, he misses the mark. Premier Frechette has met with Mr. Carney numerous times. That doesn't even speak to the private conversations that they have and the alignments that we have. They shared a press conference recently to unblock certain federal funds that have been lying in dormants for some time. Again, it feels like he brought the press together in front of the U.S. consulate in Quebec yesterday as a photo op for himself. He virtually had nothing new to say, and what little he did say, we're already doing. Again, half-baked and not very serious for someone aspiring to be our premier.
On the question of Quebec kind of going it alone and forging ahead without, on the sidelines of any federal partnership. In other words, centering itself as a player on the international stage. We did have the Premier going to Washington soon after she was chosen to lead the party and became Premier. Can you say anything came of that? Quebec being small in relation to the rest of Canada, is there not more strength in partnership with Canada rather than Quebec trying to forge its own identity?
Well, let's use Ontario as an example. Doug Ford has his own style, his own way of doing things, and his own way of reaching out to the American population with the results that are limited in scope as well, and possibly his own style. But we live in a federation, and as a federation, I think Doug Ford is completely entitled to speak of his own voice and to put forward Ontario's priorities. Quebec has a different strategy. Our strategy is having 34 offices in 19 countries. We reach out and are able to have high-level meetings with Jameson Greer, which is the meeting that you referenced just before. And those meetings are only possible because of the strong international presence we have. No other province can deliver those kind of results. And so each province has its own priorities. Each province has its own style. And I think it's completely legitimate that our premier is doing what she has to do to protect Quebec jobs and the Quebec's economy.
Well, you can't deny, though, that the presence of Quebec on the international stage through its various missions to countries does come at a significant cost to taxpayers that has been criticized in the past as being, I don't want to say useless, but of limited use, if I could summarize the criticism that way. How would you defend the CAQ's track record on that score?
Well, I would say, honestly, I've never heard that critique before. Our budget last year was around $120 million for a global budget of $165 billion of provincial spending. That allows us to actively defend Quebec interests. For instance, I'm just back from Brussels, where I met with our delegation there, and we changed the status of our delegation to make it more able to reach out to the European Union. Quebec, as a federated state, has the largest footprint in the world for a federated state, and that means that we were able to sit down with NATO. I say again, we were in NATO headquarters, directly positioning our defense ecosystem in the world stage to defend our allies. No other federated state can boast that kind of a presence in these difficult and challenging times. We also have offices, as I say, in Mexico, in order to favorably position Quebec businesses with our third largest trading partner. So I would say, in terms of bang for buck, we do a lot. And as a quick number, and as a quick reference, for every dollar we spend on international relations, we get back 46. And
on that note, I say thank you very much to Christopher Skeete, CAQ M&A for St. Rose. We're pleased that you were able to join us today.
And let's hope Mr. Milliard can come out of hiding and address some of these assertions that he made yesterday, which are completely weak and ill-fitting of a grand party like the Liberal Party. Well,
our content producer, Maxime Cadotte, is on it with Charles Milliard's office, hoping to get a time that is possible for us both. Thanks again for speaking to us, Christopher.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Christopher Skeete is the CAQ M&A for St. Rose and the minister responsible for relations with English-speaking Quebecers. Coming up, we will take a look at an reported increase in copper theft and the consequences when the copper being stolen is from Canada's telecommunications network.
Canadian women are looking for more out of themselves, their businesses, their elected leaders, and the world around them.
And that's why we're thrilled to introduce the Honest Talk podcast.
I'm Jennifer Stewart.
And I'm Catherine Clark. And in this podcast, we interview Canada's most inspiring women.
Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, politicians, and newsmakers, all at different stages of their journey.
So if you're looking to connect, then we hope you'll join us.
Listen to the Honest Talk podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
The Elias Macco Show.
News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
The voice of Montreal.
Hey, I'm Ruby Carr, the host of the podcast Encore. Check out our brand new episodes featuring music from the show that everyone is reheating as we speak, Heated Rivalry. Join me as I go behind the songs that brought Shane and Elia together. I'll tell you the stories of Feist, My Moon, My Man, Wolf Parade's I'll Believe in Anything, and Tattoo's All the Things She Said, and how they all became a part of this global phenomenon. Stream Encore on iHeartRadio, Crave, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All
Trudy Mason sitting in for Elias as his paternity leave continues. You know, in the past when we've talked about metal theft, we've talked about, thieves stealing things like the bronze plaques off of monuments or going onto construction sites and stealing the copper, going into abandoned buildings and stealing what they can lay their hands on. But there is a form of metal theft that can have some really serious consequences over a wide area when it happens, and that is copper theft in the telecommunications network. Many of you know CJAD 800 is owned by Bell Media. Bell Media's parent company is Bell, and Bell is in the telecommunications business. So here to talk to us about some worrisome figures about the rise in this type of copper theft is David Joice, Director of the National Network Operations and Engineering Office for Bell. David, welcome to CJAD 800.
Hi, thanks for having me, Trudy.
We understand there's been an increase in this type of copper theft that targets the telecommunications network. What kind of an increase are we looking at?
Yeah, today we wanted to share that we've actually seen a 78% increase in copper thefts that have led to some sort of network damage. And that's between January and June of this year. So that accounts for about 993 thefts that have ultimately impacted service to Bell customers or other companies. And essentially that's alarming. It's the increase, the yearly increase is getting bigger and bigger. So and the reason why we wanted to remind everybody is that when people do steal copper, essentially they're, say, cutting it down from lines or damaging other parts of the network. They're impacting not only our internet connections, but also like critical services like voice, like phone calls and cell towers and access to 911 and other emergency services. So it's becoming a greater concern by the year.
How is this happening? I'm trying to get my head around how a thief would be able to access a telecommunications line containing copper.
Sure. So just imagine like along the road, there'd be cables on poles. Along those cables, there's like copper cables that may provide service to some customers, and then probably bound to them as well is fiber cables. So people will find different ways to get up to those cables and just cut them off. And when that happens, like I guess they'll take all that cable and run away, and melt it down or try and sell it to somebody for some sort of monetary gain. But that at the same time creates an outage for customers. So then our teams have to come in and start a repair process, and that repair process can be kind of lengthy. It's sometimes 12 hours, sometimes longer, depending on the complexity of the damage.
Is this not a particularly dangerous kind of theft? Because if you're shimmying up poles, is there no risk that you're going to come into contact with power lines or be electrocuted? Or I suppose you could also fall off the pole too.
I suppose there would definitely be those risks as well. They do take some risk in this type of theft.
Is copper all that valuable?
It's become more valuable over the years. I guess any sort of metal has now become more costly. So probably the cost of copper has gone up by, say, 50% over the past couple of years, which makes it more interesting for people to take. And what we see is probably people are getting more organized to do this as well. So that's probably leading to a greater frequency of thefts as well. So in some ways, there's some good news in this. We actually see arrests increase by 32% related to this type of activity, but those arrests aren't actually slowing down the rate of theft, so an impact to customers.
Is this mainly in outlying areas, or is this happening in urban centers too?
It's definitely more in rural areas. We do see it on the edges of town, and then sometimes, like, I don't know, downtown, there'll be the odd occurrence of it, but generally outside where it's quiet, people can kind of get away with this stuff. So
unobserved. I guess they're looking to be unobserved. So
Correct, yeah.
And is any one province or one region more at risk, or do the thieves seem to be more organized and active in one region over another?
Certainly, the Ontario would be the most predominant area where we see this, and then followed by New Brunswick. There's actually quite a bit of activity there as well. In Quebec, it's about 9% of all of our outages, or 9% of all of our thefts are actually in Quebec. So I think it comes in in the top three. It's third. So.
How technically complicated is the repair when you have to send a crew in to replace a stolen length of cable? Is it time consuming? Is it technically challenging?
Oh, absolutely. It's the repairs require you to first kind of clean up whatever mess has been left, and then we have to bring in cable, so we have to buy more copper cable. We have to buy new fiber cable if required, and then we have team members out there that are just diligently either connecting, like kind of twisting the copper wires together, or with fiber you have to actually fuse the fiber together. So it's a long process that requires kind of special equipment, and so we could spend, like I said, 12 to 24 to 48 hours sometimes doing that. And sometimes the cables are actually quite big. There could be a cable that has 1,700 different pairs of copper cable that need to be reconnected. So it can be very tedious.
That's a lot of splicing.
Yes.
When you're talking about the fiber cables, is there metal in the fiber cables as well, or are they cut in error?
They're cut probably because they're bound with the copper cables. So often people will just go and they're not going to discriminate between what's there. It's a quick cut, and then they just leave the fiber behind and then take the copper. So it's just because it's in the same location as the copper.
Anything to be done, do you think, to discourage this type of theft?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So whenever we have a theft, we work with local law enforcement. So that's the first thing that we do, because you need to report it to the police and make sure that we can start to build up the intelligence of who's doing this. So that it kind of starts there. But then we do other types of things. We actually work with the government a lot. So just trying to make this issue aware or very prevalent in their minds. So lots of work with different levels of government, whether it's federal on the criminal code, and recently there was some improvements to the criminal code for that mean that if you're damaging telecommunication equipment as part of a theft, it's like an aggravating factor. So there could be a longer term. You may not get your sentencing would be a little bit different or more harsh. But we're also working with more local government to look at laws around scrapyards and metal collection, and making that more rigorous. And ultimately, you just need enforcement behind this as well to stop all that behavior.
David, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you very much for having me today.
David Joice, Director of National Network Operations and Engineering for Bell, which is the parent company of CJAD 800. Coming up after the news update, we are going to speak to a Quebecer who has forged quite a successful career in the U.S. because he has a more than passing resemblance to a major movie star. That's coming up.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.
Missed something?
Subscribe to the Elias Macko Show podcast to catch up.
Available on iHeartRadio and wherever you get your podcasts.
We are going to speak with a man born here in Quebec, now making a living based out of the U.S. as an interpreter of a character that was portrayed by a very famous actor. And it just so happens this Quebecer bears an uncanny resemblance to that guy. We'll get more in a moment.
Miss something? It's never been easier to catch up.
Find CJAD 800 podcasts on the iHeartRadio app. iHeartRadio.
Or click audio on our page.
On our page. CJAD800.com.
CJAD800.com.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Hello. Oh my gosh. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen. Cheers. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
We'll play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll. I'm coming to get you! One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them.
It's only love, and that's all.
Bryan Adams Radio.
I'm coming back to you.
Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey everybody, how are you tonight? Sounds great.
Time is valuable. Thanks for spending your morning with us. The Elias Macko Show on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
We are still struggling to establish contact with our next guest. I'm really hoping that we're going to be getting in touch with him. He's a very busy guy, and I won't say who he looks like. I want to save that for a little surprise, but he's a Quebecer who has moved to Los Angeles and is living in California now, making a good living doing an interpretation of a movie character that was made famous by a big movie star. And you know what? He looks like this movie star. He does a younger version of this movie star. In any event, we hope we'll be able to get in touch with him. In the interim, I would like to talk to you about your lookalike experiences. 514-790-0800. Do you look like a famous someone? Are you ever mistaken for a famous someone? Do you have any experience, walking through a shopping center and someone comes up to you and, hey, I know you from TV, or I know you from the movies. Has that ever happened to you? Or maybe you look like a famous politician or somebody else. What have your experiences been? 514-790-0800. Off air this morning, we were talking, Joey Elias and Andrew Carter and I, about lookalike experiences, because Joey told us that he was mistaken for John Goodman, the actor. He was on a comedy gig in the States. He was walking through, I think it was a shopping mall. He was killing time before his show. And the family started following him and ended up kind of coming up to him tentatively. Hey, what are you doing in town? And he didn't realize that they had mistaken him for John Goodman. He said, well, I'm here for the comedy show. And they said, oh, well, we love your work. And they eventually, aren't you John Goodman? He set them right. That was my question to Joey Elias as well. Did you just play along and pretend to be John Goodman, or did you, say, no, I'm not him. I'm Joey Elias. I'm a comic from Montreal. I'm here to do a comedy show. 514-790-0800. This texter says, when I was a kid, I would always get mistaken for Fred Savage. What was that show that Fred Savage was on?
The Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years. Okay, yeah. That might be fun, being mistaken for Fred Savage. In Master Control, Jay Farrar, are you mistaken for a celebrity?
Brad Pitt all the time, Trudy. Doesn't stop. Day in and day out. Can't even leave the house.
Whoa, just it's a cross you must bear, I guess.
Yeah, this is my burden. No, but I get that I sound like Seth Rogen a lot.
You sound like Seth Rogen.
Especially if I go a little bit lower and I start talking like this. People say I sound like Seth Rogen a lot. Yeah, I never got mixed up But my friends and I were all pretty big guys, and we were in a bar once, and we somehow had convinced everybody that we played for the Montreal Alouettes.
Okay.
And let's say the beer tab was very low that night because people thought we were all football players. Yeah.
This texter says, since the movie E.T. and right up until today, I'm always told I look exactly like Drew Barrymore.
Oh, wow.
And this happened as recently as last week.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. This texter says, I was on the beach in Florida and was mistaken for Richard Gere. I'd like to meet you too. You know, let's go to Debbie in Brossard and find out who she looks like. Hi, Debbie.
Hi. My sister, my cousin, and a friend of ours were in Vegas, and we started taking pictures of each other in the lobby. Just as a busload of tourists came in, they saw us taking pictures of each other, so they started taking pictures of each other. The next thing we knew, all kinds of people were taking pictures of us, I guess thinking we were famous.
They might not have been able to place you.
Exactly. So I have no idea how they explained who we were when they got home and said, look at us.
You're probably in somebody's photo album.
Yeah, this is the famous person we were taking pictures of. We have absolutely no idea who they were.
That's fun. That's fun. Thanks for calling to share that, Debbie. Appreciate that. This texter says, I often get comments that I look like Princess Diana. What an honor. That's from Ramona. Yeah. Yeah, that would be kind of, and poignant too, you know, considering her untimely death. She died when she was so young. When I was younger, I used to be, and Carol Burnett was a thing on TV. I used to be told I looked like Vicki Lawrence, who was a comedian on that show.
I see it.
Vicki Lawrence. And then older and more recently, I've been told I look like Elizabeth May, the leader of the Green Party.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
So those are my claims to fame for look-alikery. Look-alikery, if I can say that.
Sneak into Parliament and get something done, Trudy.
I try. I mean, our opinions are aligned on some things, not a lot within the Green Party, but, you know, I could advocate on certain things. Maxime Cadot in Master Control. Quiet? Yes. Are you get no lookalikes, or you do?
I never really gotten a lookalike per se. My dad has, and it's a prominent figure around the city.
Oh yeah, this is true. Yes.
So my father, he's lost a lot of weight in the past over the past 5 years. But when I was growing up, he had a very, very similar stature to Denis Martin, the mayor of Montreal.
Okay.
So the joke was that basically that he and Kader were twins. Considering the last name as well, Kader wasn't that far off, so you had that going as well.
That could be interesting. I'm sure you get people buttonholing you, Mr. Mayor. I have something I want to talk to you about, and you could smile and nod and say, "I'm getting right on that. You're absolutely right. and then walk away."
My father also looked like there was a hockey player who played for the Edmonton Oilers in the 70s and 80s. His name was Gary Unger, and he looked exactly like my father. Oh. And my father's name is Gary. So whenever my father was out or in a bar or in a pub or something, people would go, "Hey, Gary, how's it going?" Everybody's like, "Are you Gary Unger?" Oh. Yeah.
Did it get him any free beers in a bar?
No. He was a relatively unknown Edmonton Oiler, obscure of the 1970s. Yeah.
Oh, this texter says, in my teens, I was told I could pass for Candace Cameron. Now, she was the actress on Full House, wasn't she? Candace
Cameron, yes. Yes.
I think she writes a column in one of the women's magazines.
And she's married to a former Hab, Valerie Bure. Yeah.
Loved her then. Now I can't stand her. Have a nice day. I don't know why. She's a staunch Christian, I believe, and she writes kind of a faith tinge column in, is it My Family Circle, My Women's Day?
She's Kirk Cameron's sister, I believe. And Kirk Cameron also is a very faithful person.
Oh, okay. This texter says, my daughter looks like Anne Hathaway, and my husband looks like Stanley Tucci. Wow. One year they will do Deva Wears Prada for Halloween. That would be fun. They go to a party. Yeah, that would be.
You notice nobody says, I look like Woody Allen. Or
This texter says, many times I've been mistaken for Grace Slick, the great rock goddess. This texter says, Trudy, you look like José Legault, the newspaper journalist, like a twin. Am I José Legault's twin? I've interviewed her a couple of times as a newsmaker back in the day. When
like looking in a mirror, huh, Trudy?
Is it like looking in a mirror?
José
Legault. I'm sure we could have some really good discussions about federalism. Marlon texts, many years ago when my son was younger, his orthodontist swore that I looked like John Legend. It became a little creepy the way she would stare at me all the time during the appointment. And even once I saw her at the grocery store, and I think she followed us around for a while. It got very uncomfortable. Oh, yeah, I guess it could. And this texter says, someone told me I look like Pete Townsend. Not sure if it's a compliment or not. Well, maybe. Well, I guess it could go either way in that. Okay, that was fun. Thanks. And we hope to meet on air the interview that we couldn't establish communications with. Very busy guy. He's a look-alike for a top movie character, and I'm sure he'd be interesting to speak to. So we're hoping to line him up on another day.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
.ca. The Elias Macco Show. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
Well, you know, the province has been working for quite a while on its new flood maps. And this flooding zone data is really key for all kinds of planning purposes, particularly at the municipal level. Well, it looks as though the government is backing off on its release date. It was supposed to release the new flood maps August 1st. Now it says, no, that will be delayed. So this is not pleasing a number of municipal organizations because they're chomping at the bit to get some plans together. Just look at what happened in Chateauguay, in Dollard, in Pierrefonds just last month with heavy rainfall. So they are a little bit worried. Spring flooding still a concern on parts of the West Island as well as many other communities. And cities say they want answers. Welcome to CJAD 800, Denis Martin, the mayor of Deux-Montagnes, Two Mountains. Mr. Martin, thanks for joining us.
A pleasure.
What are you attributing this backtracking on the release of these flood maps?
Well, I represent the CMM on the executive committee, and we got release yesterday that due to uncontrollable situation, they cannot produce the maps or approve the maps for tomorrow, which was due tomorrow. So that is a great concern for all of the cities concerning the CMM.
I thought that the maps had already gone through the whole vetting process and we're good to go.
Yeah, well, we've like Deux-Montagnes was flooded in 2017. I've been on the file since then. We even went to Paris, and we changed. We with the government changed the way of looking into flood zones, going to different risk possibilities. So, if you go on the site of the Government of Quebec Flood Zones and Channel Migration, the maps are there, but are very imprecise. And we're waiting for the official new generation maps, which were much more precise. And that's what we're looking for, is putting them on the site of the Government of Quebec to have at least these maps that would be precise. Now, the population is very uncertain, and some on the government maps are in flood zones, and they should not be. So a lot of the population is waiting to have these new generation maps deposited and approved, and now it's delayed, and we don't know when it will be done.
No indication at all when they might be released.
No indication. They're ready. Like we had a peep. We checked in 2020. They're ready since for the CMM 2024. So it's been over 2 years. So we do have an indication, and we are planning ways to protect the population. But now we're awaiting these official maps to go ahead with work that has to be done.
In addition to the property owners who, as you point out, some of them are wrongly included in flood zones. Others might be added to flood zones. There's a lot at stake, value of property, insurance costs, and so on. In addition to all that, kind of at the individual level, what would your municipality, the other municipalities, be able to do with the more accurate data?
Well, me, it helped me out a lot for the city of Deux-Montagnes in 2019. So we had a good idea of where the water would come, so we were able to protect citizens, and other cities are in the same situation. So, for the MRC of Deux-Montagnes, which is part of the CMM, Saint-Martin-sur-le-Lac and Pointe-Calumet and Deux-Montagnes, we had dikes approved, water retention basins, and we had all built all these things to protect our citizens. Now we have to have them recognized, and we need the new maps to, which is the first start to have these protection things recognized, and then we'll be able to have all these properties removed from the flood zone and have a minimal risk. So all these citizens, and it's by thousands, and it's nearly the whole city of Pointe-Calumet, are awaiting these maps and those authorizations from the government. And it's been 8 years now.
Do you wonder if maybe the maps are being delayed until after the provincial election in the fall?
Well, I hope not. I think it would have been a good move for the government, the actual government, because they've been in the file for the last 8 years. They've been with us on the file. And to demonstrate that it was solved with the CMM and with the population and the municipalities, I think it would have been a good call to do it before the elections. Now, some may worry that it could influence, the people that will be in flood zones, but they are there right now anyway, so it will not change their status, and it's not adding anything, but it will more secure the people that should not be there. And it will secure the people where we have protections installed right now. So it would have been a good move for them to do it, but why they're not doing it, it's not clear in our mind right now.
I think also if I were planning the run-up to the election, August 1st is a good time to release stuff because a lot of people are on vacation. They're not thinking about political questions or stuff. So if there was any controversy about the new map, it would all be lost with people away from the summer, and then we'd be in an election campaign. It probably wouldn't play in. So I don't see what they gain from delaying either until it's after the election.
Well, that's right. And I think for our citizens that are concerned, the people that are not concerned, they don't see it, but for the people that are concerned, I think it would have been something interesting to be solved before the election. If it's the same government, well, we'll continue with this government. It's a new government. Well, I guess we're back to re-explain the whole situation, and it could take more time. So I think the timing was great for them. For some reason, I did talk to them, and we didn't get any answers. So I think the Greater Montreal needs these maps that are the new generation maps approved as soon as possible, so we could start working on planning our protections for the citizens that are there.
Mayor Martin, thank you very much for the interview.
It's a pleasure.
We've been speaking with the mayor of Two Mountains, Deux-Montagnes, Denis Martin. At this time, I would like to say a very hearty thank you to Master Control Producer Jay.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.
A. Farrar for pushing all the buttons to keep us on the air. Maxime Cadot, content producer for the Elias Mako Show, for coming up with all those great ideas. And Chasen Guess, who for some reason aren't answering their phone. I'm really hoping to get that lookalike on the air, and I think we'll do a call-in segment too, because we had other texts I couldn't get to from people who have who are lookalikes. Mart Spitz, Robert Englund, but without the scary makeup, former Ontario Premier Bill Davis, that type of stuff. So I think we'll get back to that at some point. Until then, dodge the raindrops if they do indeed fall on our heads today, and enjoy your afternoon.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
We'll play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll. One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them.
It's only love, and that's all.
Bryan Adams Radio.
I'm coming back to you.
Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey everybody, how are you tonight? Sounds great.
You're listening to the voice of Montreal.
News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
An iHeartRadio station.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
We'll play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll. One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them.
It's only love, and that's all.
Bryan Adams Radio.
I'm coming back to you.
Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey everybody, how are you tonight? Sounds great.